Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are with Quintessence Lass, our level 22 brute, who has 216,000 experience earned, 18,000 to go to get to a level 23 on our next two enhancement slots, and we have 255,000 influence earned, and we're getting ready to start a new contact. So here's the story. I looked up. Scroll of Tieleku is given by Miriam Bleckel, level 25 and up. So we can't do that yet, but we do want to do the first part of the Banished Pantheon story, at least I do, the Wheel of Destruction. Wheel of Destruction, which I probably will call the Wheel of Time by accident sometimes because that's a book series and, sort of my brain might go off in that direction. But the Wheel of Destruction story arc is given by Andrea Mitchell, who I do not have as a contact. So I went to my Steel Canyon and my Skyway City contacts who were expired and talked to them, and they gave me new contacts. You can see we have a whole bunch. Well, some of these contacts that we have will give us Andrea Mitchell. Rondell Jackson is one. Claire Childress is another. So I'm going to start with the two of them and see if they'll give me Andrea Mitchell. We're on a little bit of a clock here because we only have 2.5 levels to go. I don't think Andrea will talk to us after level 25. Maybe not even after level 24. So we've got 22, 23, and 24. So we have 2.5 levels, and I'm earning XP like crazy here, so I might have to turn it off. I am not going to miss the Wheel of Destruction. I want to play that. And no, I'm not doing it as a flashback in Ouroboros. I want to do it as we go, as a real story arc in this character's timeline. So I'm going to start with Rondell Jackson and Claire Childress, and I think one of these two, it might be Tyler French, might also give you Andrea Mitchell. My concern is that doing more than 2 or 3 of these is going to be probably, push our XP up too high. So if we're, 24 point or 24 point, 8th level and still don't have Andrea, I'm turning off my XP. I might not record videos then, but I'm going to try to work really hard to see if I can get her as a contact. And the other possible way to do this might be to do the radio missions and then have the detective of Talos Island, Detective Basins, offer her to me, but there's no guarantee he's going to offer her to me, and that's going to eat up a lot of experience. I mean, we'll get half a level trying to do that, and it'll just be junk missions. So I'd rather do a story arc, so we'll work with Rondell Jackson and Claire Childress, and hopefully one of the two of them will give me Andrea Mitchell. When I went to talk, why I picked him is when I went to talk to her, she said something like, "Buddy, you're not working with me right now, but Rondell Jackson wants to talk to you." So I'm hoping that that is her hint that at least for me, if I do his story arc, I can then go to her. So we'll see. Hopefully that is the case. Let's see what he has to say. He says, "Have you heard of the mercenaries who call themselves Sky Raiders? Yeah, I've been fighting them for like 2 levels. According to my sources, they're planning to raid the labs of Balsam Technologies. The Sky Raiders are always on the lookout for new weapons. I'd like you to stop them before they make off you in 75 minutes. Okay, so that's good. And we'll head to Atlas Park. And I have turned the music back on because we're not in fault line anymore. And it seemed like the fault line music was bugging out and not stopping after, playing for a couple minutes. And it was also quite loud and obtrusive. So hopefully we'll just get the, brief musical interludes and then it'll fade away the way it's supposed to do. Because I really do like the music in this game. I don't want it cut off. And it was messing me up because the options also are in play for when you go to the login screen. And I was going to the login screen and there wasn't any sound, and I'm like, what is going on? I thought there was something wrong with my headphones, and then I realized, oh yeah, I turned the music off. And I do love the Atlas Park music, and I don't want that turned off. Alright, so we're going to go in here and stop the Sky Raiders. And somebody keep reminding me. I know you can't. It's not live, and I've filmed this days and days ago by the time you see it. I wish it was live and you guys could keep reminding me to switch to combat jump, because I've forgotten to do that a lot with this character. I feel like so much more than... It was just such an automatic thing with my martial arts super reflex because I'd played that character before and I was used to it. And for some reason, even though this is still a character like that, it's not the same thing, and it's just not a reflex for me. And it should be. But it's been a long time since I played a character with the jump powers, right? Because we've done um, both the Mastermind and the Stalker, who was super speed. And I did turn the super speed on and off. But the super speed is obvious, right? Whereas combat jump and super jump both look the same. They have these little circles. And so sometimes you can't tell visually. I guess what I could do is color them differently. But I really like these colors. So I think I'm going to keep them. And we don't need all these reds, so we're going to go ahead and click on them. Hey, get back here. I don't want him running away. Because he's going to run into teleporters or something. And then be a pain. There we go. Yeah, see, look how fast we just gained, like, a big chunk of a bead. And so I'm concerned that, that we're going to level up too fast, but we'll see. Now here we're going to fight both of these guys, because I don't want either one of them to bring out the, whatchamacallit, the generator. Well, look at that, we got another yellow. So yeah, I would much rather use these yellows, extra yellows as they drop, than try to convert 3 yellows to a purple or something. I feel like that's super inefficient. Some people like to do the converting. I really don't. I also think that the converting is much more viable when you're high level and you have 4 rows of this. So you can drop like 1 row in and still have a bunch of other inspirations left. But if I've only got 3 yellows, why would I want to convert them? I'd rather use them up. Now we have to go around the other side here because this is a defeat all. And as you can see, so far I'm doing a little better with this character at stopping the Raider Engineers from summoning their stupid little generators. I'm just being a little more careful here. I mean, that's the way. This is the way you're supposed to do it if you're playing intelligently, but I don't always play intelligently, as you guys have no doubt seen. Because I'm talking and thinking about other things and chatting about D&D or something and not watching. I don't make that many mistakes, or shall we say, I don't make as many suboptimal decisions in my gameplay when I'm not blathering to an audience as I do when I am, right? It's very distracting to talk, and just, you know, I'm sort of so innately used to this game, particularly the melee. But even after a while with Nightmare Lass and the minions, I got so used to, you know, what I did to control and run the minions that, you know, I could talk about almost anything and still run it. It's just that every once in a while when there was something that was a little bit of a surprise, and same thing with this character, you might not pick it up in the split second that you're supposed to. You know, you pick it up a second too late. Sometimes I don't exactly register which part of the map I'm on, for instance. I don't realize like which room I'm going into, even though I've seen it many times before because I'm busy talking. And a lot of the entries to these rooms look similar. And if you're not paying very careful attention, you can think you're going into one of the rooms and you're going into another. And the difference, you know, the reason that makes a difference, and there we go, fleeing away. The reason that makes a difference is because some of these rooms may have spawns right at the entrance and some of them have them further back. Come back here. I do like that as a pull when they're running away. Yeah, look at this. We've gained like a whole bead. And there's a glowy. This must be what they're stealing. I don't know that we needed to click on that because it just says defeat all. It doesn't say click the glowies. You know, it doesn't say find anything. I love doing damage to multiple guys with that, especially since it does such great damage now with its triple enhancers. You can see this character is kicking butt and taking names. And then we may be getting to the point where we need to set this on +1. By the way, I'm definitely seeing a huge difference in the jumps with this character, with the enhancements, and now at 22nd level, now that we're higher level. The jumping is much more, it's much easier for me to control correctly, especially the super jump, because it's more like what I'm used to. And I realized too, I mean, I was so bad at doing the super jump and missing what I was aiming at when I first got it, and I think I mentioned this last episode, I realized that was probably because not only was it low level super jump, and I'm used to high level, it was also lower level than super jump was ever meant to be, right? Because we weren't 14th level yet. And that actually didn't happen to me with Silver Phoenix, because, oh, I missed those guys over there. That actually didn't happen to me with Silver Phoenix. See, talking and messed it up. Because Silver Phoenix, I was trying to get the classical experience, and so I didn't start her on super jump until level 14. So I never saw pre-level. I never saw pre-level 14 super jump until like literally when I started this character. So yeah, we had a little bit of a rough patch here because I screwed up and didn't see the little extra spawn over in the corner here. But look at all the damage we are doing to these guys. Man, we're gonna get like almost to level 23 just by doing this mission alone. Oh, maybe not. We have a few more beads than I thought. But yeah, we're cranking. I mean, this is going to be at least 2 beads for this mission. And it's just a junk mission. We're not even into his story arcs yet. Right? We don't even have the book. We'll be level 23 before we start the story arc. So I might have to turn her experience off. I won't do this for anything else, guys, but I absolutely will for Wheel of Destruction and Scroll of Tealeku, because I want those story arcs. And I want them live. I don't want them as Ouroboros missions. I'm kind of picky about that. You're just going to have to live with my little quirks. I do love that heal. I want to definitely put heals on it to bring it up further. But I like how, and we need recharge on it too, but I like how, you know, they do a little damage to me and then I run that thing and bam, I'm healed back up. It is super awesome. I'm doing okay at getting these guys into my cone. I don't always get it, but I do it enough that I'm happy with it. I'm happy about the amount of damage it's doing. Which is the way out here. There we go. There's got to be an engineer. Yeah, I missed him. Just a little too slow. Just a little bit too slow. Fortunately, we hit that thing both times, and our fury was up enough that 2 shots took it out. What you're going to start seeing with this character, as the fury cranks up our damage, and as we get damage enhancers on all of our powers, this character is going to become even more lethal. Or, I guess we shouldn't say lethal, she's not killing anybody. She's going to become even more brutal, let's say that. Or more devastating. I don't know, what's a good word for a hero? More capturizing. I don't know. She's going to capture people much faster. Speaking of capturing, so I'm doing something potentially a little bit insane. Um, my players were playing D&D tonight. I think tonight, I'm almost certain tonight, they're going to end up in the astral zone, the astral plane, and then they're going to have to try to get back. And I'm not sure what they're going to do. As I've said in the past, originally I was going to have them get captured by pirates, and then the pirates were going to take them to the astral plane. And then I realized that that probably wasn't going to work because players don't like to be captured, and they're probably going to fight, and there were like 300 pirates, and they're going to get killed. Um, or they're going to do something to sink the pirate ship that I didn't expect, and then they're going to sink the pirate ship, and they can't go to the astral zone, and they're going to kill the one player's girlfriend, who's one of the pirates. And the whole point of doing this entire thing, this whole thing, is because of him wanting to find his girlfriend and me wanting to make a cool adventure out of it so that we could dispose of this girlfriend and I don't have to hear about it anymore and I don't have to worry about it anymore. She's in the astral plane with pirates. He knows she's safe. She's not coming back. She likes being a pirate too much, and that's going to be the end of it. But there's going to be an astral zone adventure. And so I said, okay, what's the adventure? And the adventure is that now, it was related to this, but the adventure is that the pirates want to be able to get back to, Earth, and they can't because they're stuck in the astral zone. And so are the players. There's no way to get back. And so the players, what the pirates have is a magic item that is attached to their ship. It's an installation. This is something that Matt Colville came up with in his Strongholds and Followers. So it's not a magic item you can carry around with you. You have to install it in a base. Their base is their pirate ship. There are rules for this in the Colville book, although I didn't follow any of them because it's not player characters. So they have this installation, and let's click on the glowy because I don't know what that's for, but let's just go ahead. We'll head out. It got us a little prestige. That's good. So they're so they have this astrolabe bolted to the deck of the ship, which they stole from Githyanki, and they want to use it to teleport back and forth to and from the astral plane. They like being in the astral plane. It's a great base. They can't get caught by the Romans and stuff because the Romans can't come into the astral plane. But you can't. There's no food in the astral plane. There's no sun, so you can't grow crops. There's water. It's sort of a mist, and so they can get water out of the mist, and they figured out how to do that. But they don't have any food. They don't have any supplies, and they've been subsisting by taking the supplies from the ships that get caught in this maelstrom and sucked into the astral zone. And the pirate ship, basically comes up to them and says, "Join us or die," which is kind of what they're going to say. They're sort of going to say that to our characters, but they're not going to have to say that because they're going to save them from Githyanki. And so I assume the player characters in Gratitude won't try to fight the pirates. But anyway, what they want to be able to do is go back and forth to the astral plane, from the astral plane, and what the pirate captain is going to say is, look, if you guys go and get me what I need, which is the pearl from the mind of an astral dragon, and that we can use in the astrolabe, I will as my first act with the astrolabe, I will bring you back home and drop you off on Earth. And into the bargain, there's going to be an astral skiff, which is a little boat that he's going to give them if they want to go find the dragon, and he'll let them keep it. And I figure this way they can just use the boat to sail around the Mediterranean, and they don't need to keep hiring boats, and they can keep their supplies on it. And it's a small boat; it's a little catamaran, but it's big enough for 4 or 5 people. And then they can. I even came up with ways where when they get to the city that they're going to, the Grey Elves, who are kind of like sea elf Grey Elves, they do a lot of sailing, that the players can, if they want, they can spend a couple weeks at the Sailors College there and learn navigation, ship building, sail rigging, things like that. And then, they can sail all over the Mediterranean where they want to go, and they don't have to worry about hiring a ship. And I thought that might be kind of cool. So they have to decide, are they going to go steal the pearl from... Well, they have to kill the astral dragon, which is going to be super hard. And then if they kill it, they get its pearl and bring it back. Are they going to want to do that? I'm not sure. So let's read this, and then we'll continue with that story. We got a temporary power. What is this? Some kind of shield? Cryonite armor. All right, well, we'll move that over here. And we can maybe use that. So let's see. I'm going to move this like this. We can use that at some point if we really need it in an emergency. Skyraider services are always for sale to the highest bidder. Ooh, are you going to give me who I want? Nope, Justine Kelly. Well, alright, I guess we'll keep going on this guy. And, alright, so he wants us to go to Siren's Call. So I'm going to do that. When I come back, we'll continue the story of D&D, but I will not make you wait till I wander over to this stupid contact. So I'll bring you back when we're, oh, we are on a story arc with him now. Alright, well, this isn't part of the story arc, though, so I'll bring you back when we're ready to call him up. Alright, we are back. We've talked to the Siren's Call liaison, who's right here in Steel Canyon, next to the sewer network entrance. And now we're going to call him back up, and he says, yeah, the liaison, I don't care about that. So, he says, I think we're doing Sky Raiders with this guy. I learned something rather disturbing from one of my contacts in Talos Island. It seems the Sky Raiders are planning an attack on a secret conference in an office building. Will you stop them? Yes. I hope this is, in fact, the story arc, and not the other one. But we'll see. So getting back to what I was talking about, the dragon that they're going to fight. I think I may have mentioned this already. The dragon that they're going to fight is, or if they want to do this, right, is neutral. And so it's not evil. It's not good. It's neutral. So I'm not sure if they're going to want to just, I don't know if they're going to just barrel in and kill it, or try to. It's pretty tough. It's a psionic dragon. And I'm using Matt Colville's psionics rules, so it's pretty brutal. It's a challenge rating 13, and they're a 6th level party, so it could very well kill all of them. Frankly, I don't feel too terrible about this if they just decide to charge in and start slaughtering a neutral and completely innocent beast to steal a part of its brain. It's not necessarily good. It's not a benevolent creature, but it's also minding its own business. And if they're just going to walk up to it and try to kill it without even talking to it as a good and lawful, either lawful, neutral, or good party is kind of nasty. So I'm not sure I would feel terrible about it if they just walk up to it and try to kill it, but and they get wiped. Hopefully they won't, but we'll see what happens. It's a very high challenge rating, but I do think they can defeat it given the abilities that they have. Why are these guys blue? This shouldn't be a level 21 mission. Hopefully it's a backloaded mission and they'll get harder as we go. So they do have another option, and I think I've mentioned this before. The dragon is intelligent. Why are they green? The dragon is intelligent, right? It's a dragon. It's actually really smart, and it's an astral dragon. It's a gemstone dragon of Colville. Again, it's a Colville dragon. It's a sapphire dragon or something. But these are the astral dragons. So I have regular dragons in the mortal world, but in the astral plane, they're gemstone dragons, and that's the way if they are born on the astral plane, instead of being a blue dragon, it becomes a sapphire dragon or whatever. And so, I just think it's cool because they're different. They're psionic, and my psionics are basically extraplanar. So it's like astral beings, like the Githyanki have psionics, and there are psionic storms in the astral, and so on and so forth. So this dragon, if they talk to it and they tell it what they want, I mean, he's going to be like, I can't give you my pearl, you'd have to cut my brain out for that. But if they tell him why they need it, he might offer, depending on how the negotiations go, he might be willing to say to them, well, tell you what, if you don't attack me and you don't steal any of my treasure, right, I'd be willing, in exchange for you adding to my treasure a little bit, give me a valuable item that you've collected over the years, because I like building treasure, and dragons gain prestige with each other by having the larger hoard. That's why dragons hoard treasure, because they impress each other with the sizes of their hoards. And we're back into the +0 now, which is what we want. And so he wants to build his hoard up, so he says, well, look, he's going to say, hopefully, well, look, if you help me build up my hoard by giving me something valuable, like a magic item or something, we'll see how much the party wants to do this, I would be willing to guide you back to the Maelstrom, and you can go home. Now, I don't know if they're going to want to do this. Remember, this guy's girlfriend is with the pirates, so I don't know that he's going to want to just leave her. If they take the ship that the pirates gave them and just leave without doing what the pirate captain asked them to do, they will then make an enemy. The pirate captain will want them dead because they took his ship and didn't do what they said they were going to do. We're rescuing innocents here, so we may have, yep, we've got one in here. So they might make an enemy of the pirate captain. This guy's definitely never going to see his girlfriend again if they do this. So he's going to know that, I assume. And we're looking for captives, so we got to look through this whole base, whole office. And so I don't know what they're going to do about that. I'm guessing they're going to negotiate based on their characters and how they roleplay and stuff. I suspect that they will try to negotiate with the dragon, and that even though the guy isn't going to want to leave his girlfriend, they might cast the sending spell, to talk to her and explain to her what's going on. And she's going to say to them, well, if you guys do this, get out and make sure we never find you again because the captain's going to kill you. Or try to. You will have made an enemy of him. And I won't be able to protect you. Or something along those lines. So I'm kind of expecting them to do that, but I don't know what they're going to do. But if we assume one way or another they get back to the mortal world, then I'm going to be then they're going to get to this elven town, and as I've told this story already, in the elven town, they need to get into some of the temples, and the temple they need to get into in the elven town is the Temple of Diana, and none of them are clerics of Diana, and only clerics get into the temples. And so I had set up this adventure idea. I don't know if they're going to do this, right? They have freedom. They could decide not to do it. But the temple's votive offerings, which are like valuables that were given to the temple by the faithful, and are considered now possessions of Diana, have been stolen by an unknown group. And when they do investigation, they're going to smell the smell of rotten fish, and they're going to see these really large, much larger than normal fish scales. And they're going to see weird footprints in the ground, assuming they investigate any of this. And if they do that, they'll hopefully follow the trail to a grotto that has a sea cave in it, and inside the sea cave is a larger cave that leads to the Shrine of the Kuwatoa. Literally the Shrine of the Kuwatoa from Dungeon Module D2 of the GDQ series from old school AD&D. And I have modified it, right, to fit into my mythology. So instead of the goddess Bleal de Bloop or whatever they worship, they're worshiping the Titan Oceanus, because those are the sort of the, I don't want to say evil gods, but the gods that were overthrown by the Roman gods, right, the Titans. And what's really going on is a cosmic struggle between the Titans and the Roman gods, and our characters have been kind of caught in the middle of this struggle. They don't realize it yet. They have some hints, but they don't realize it yet. So that all sort of worked out, but I bought a really high-res version. This guy did an awesome high-res version of the actual map from the module. Instead of it being like blue and white, he did a full-color, beautiful map with terrain and everything and lighting. And I was going to like draw the map, and then I was like, hey, somebody's already done this, and I was able to buy it and just use it. It was awesome. And so I've been filling it in, and there's 35 rooms or something, and there must be 250 or 300 Kuwatoa. They're all in there. If these guys decide to like go barreling in and just try to fight, they're going to get their butts kicked. Because these Kuwatoa aren't necessarily powerful individually. They're actually, weaker than orcs, or maybe equal to orcs. Now, they're a little weaker than orcs individually, but there are hundreds of them. There are guard rooms with 20 of them in a single guard room. And these guys will come out if they're alerted, and they will sound an alarm if their gods' votive offerings are stolen, which is what the players are going to have to do, right? Because what these guys have done is they've taken the votive offerings of Diana, and they've placed them before Oceanus. And then the really valuable ones were taken to the priest prince, who's basically like the king of this place, for himself. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys approach it. They tend to be pretty smart about not just barreling in, but I just don't know what's going to happen. And so this all started because I was talking about captivity. Oh crap, I taunted the wrong guy. I was just trying to taunt this guy. I forgot it was an AoE and not a single target. Warriors challenge is single target, and I'm used to that. It's not single target. It's like a cone. It'll hit the guy you taunted and 2 or 3 guys right next to him if they're close enough, and that's what I did by accident. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but I've been working on the shrine, and as I've been doing it, just sort of chuckling to myself as I read this, like, there are 16 guards in here, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, they're all challenge rating a quarter, which means they're pretty much a single level 1 character should be able to defeat one of them. And our characters are going to be level 7 at this point, which makes them very powerful. But when there are 16 of them, I mean, you can only kill like 1 or 2 guys at a time unless you're throwing fireballs. And they can't just endlessly throw fireballs. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys do against these tough challenges. First, the dragon, which is legit powerful enough to kill them all. And if they just blatantly attack it, we may be looking at an actual party wipe. The Kuwatoa, though, are going to be striking to capture, not kill. And then I'm going to figure out how are they going to get out of it if I capture them. So I'm thinking about, unfortunately, the prison level isn't actually on the map. It's just like a theater of the mind level. And here's the boss we're supposed to be fighting, but he's only a lieutenant. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. There's like another... There's a bunch of hallways leading off, and I basically blocked almost all of them, but I have one of them going off, and I think that might be... Well, I might multi-purpose that. I might make it that if they're just exploring it, and it's like at the end of the adventure, it'll just be this empty tunnel that just goes back to the surface or something. But if they get captured, and they haven't been down that hall, maybe I can make that the prison level or something. I'm going to have to think about that. And maybe there's some prisoner that can help them escape or something. I don't know. I'll have to think about how to do it if they become prisoners. But I have a while because I suspect it will be at least another couple months before they're at that point. Because I expect maybe 3 sessions in the astral zone. I'm going to go help this guy. 3 sessions in the astral's plane, and then then they're going to at least spend 1 session in the city, and then presumably they're going to spend another session trying to find the shrine. So we're looking at 5 or 6 sessions before I have to worry about them being captured, and that's 12 weeks, 10 weeks. So I have some time to think about it. Let's talk to Rundell Jackson, who says, I wonder who the mysterious trio was. Think they'd give us a hint. So, Sky Raider's secret. A plot to eliminate 3 men. Ah, is this General Z? Have you heard of Striga Isle? Take this package to Stephanie Peoples. Okay, so I'm going to pause it again here, guys. What are we doing on time? Alright, so we've had a half hour. I think I'm going to stop it here. I'll go take this to Stephanie Peoples. This is so that we introduce us to Striga Island. I wouldn't mind doing Striga, but there is no way I'm doing Striga and not doing Wheel. So I'm going to do Wheel of Destruction, and if I at all can, and I'm certainly not going to waste gaining experience on Stephanie Peoples until after we've done Wheel. Now, if we've done Wheel, and we're not level 25, and Stephanie will still talk to us at that point, I will do her mission then, but I'm not doing it now. Even though Striga is different, we have done Striga Island on Silver Phoenix, so you can watch that. I would kind of like to do the Striga arcs, but I am I just love the Wheel of Destruction too much, so I want to try to do that first. So that's our top priority. But we will do that next time. We will continue on our current Zurich next time. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes on the Rebirth server.